Good evening. Welcome to the McDonough County League of Women Voters Candidates Forum for the primary election Tuesday, February 26th. My name is Sarah Bockelman, and I am the president of the local league. The chief mission of the league is to promote the education and participation of citizens in elections. The league is nonpartisan, which means that we never promote or endorse any candidate for office. We try to inform voters about candidates through public events like this one. Tonight you will meet candidates for Macomb City Council. We have help from members of the Macomb High Student Council, our co-sponsors. In this primary election, any candidate who gets 50% plus one vote is automatically the winner. If no majority is achieved by a candidate, the top two vote getters will be on the ballot in the April election. This will affect only the candidates running in Ward 5. As there are 3 candidates, it is possible that no one will gain 50% plus one of the vote. Any runoff will take place at the election on Tuesday, April 9th, when members will be chosen for school board, park board, and library board. We will hold a candidates forum for the 8 candidates running for school board on Wednesday, March 27th. There are 4 open seats, so lots of competition. Please mark your calendars and plan to attend. For tonight's forum, timekeepers are in the front row to keep us on schedule. Now please meet the moderator for tonight's program, Rich Egger, WIUM News Director. He covers City Council meetings weekly and will ask questions of our candidates tonight. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm happy the league invited me to moderate this important forum. All citizens will vote at the same polling sites as the last election. That's assuming you have not moved since the last election. And because there is an at-large seat up for election, all registered voters in Macomb will have at least one contest they can vote in. The 2010 census indicates Macomb's population declined a bit, so our city wards have been reduced from 7 to 5 with 2 at-large aldermen. This is a good time for the audience to be thinking of questions for the candidates. You may raise your hand for paper and pencil, and student council members will assist you. They'll pick up your questions for screeners Sarah Bockelman and Sally Egler, and I'll ask as many questions as time permits. The new ward map is on display at the back of the room and on the back of your program. You can also find the new map on the City of Macomb website, and I hope you've had a chance to see which ward you live in now so you know which candidates you'll be voting for. Up for election this cycle are the 1st, 2nd, and 5th ward seats, as well as 1 at-large position, as I've mentioned. Ryan Hansen currently serves as alderman from Ward 1 and is running unopposed for that same seat. He's out of town on business and could not join us today. The rest of the candidates are with us this evening. Before we get to the questions, let's meet the candidates. Please each take about a minute to introduce yourself. We'll start in Ward 2 with incumbent Kay Hill.
Well, I'm Kay Hill. I was appointed in 2011 to fill a vacated position, so relatively new to the council. I retired from the Illinois State Police after 30 years. I was in an administrative position there, and I've lived most of my life in Macomb and have been a permanent resident since 1965. Married. My husband was a businessman here, had a construction company, so we have a lot invested in Macomb and love living here.
The challenger in Ward 2 is Steve Wayland.
Thank you, Rich. Well, I'm Steve Wayland. I'm a current junior at Western Illinois University, studying chemistry with an emphasis in pharmacy, and a double minor in neuroscience and pre-law honors. I'm pretty involved on campus with the Centennial Honors College, student government, Habitat for Humanity, Pi Kappa Phi fraternity, you name it, I'm probably involved somehow. And for the past 3 years that I've attended Western, I've lived in Macomb. I've participated in the city, whether it be with, maybe some political campaigns or just volunteering with Habitat for Humanity and Rotaract of Western Illinois University. So I love it in Macomb. It's a great place to live, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 3 years here, and I hope I have many more. Thank you.
In Ward 5, one of the incumbents is Tim Lobdell.
Thank you, Rich. Excuse me. First, I'd like to thank the league for hosting this event tonight, and the student council for Macomb High. I came to Macomb as a student in 1984. I, as many students do, found employment here in Macomb. Working with the YMCA was my first job. I ended up really enjoying that job and ended up spending 8 years of my early career there before I bought a business and operated that for another 6 years. Technology being what it is required me to change professions yet again, now working with the Western Illinois Regional Council. I have always wanted to stay in Macomb. I fell in love with it as a student. I think we've made some great strides, and I look forward to continuing those strides.
The other Ward 5 incumbent is Clay Hinderleiter.
Again, I'd like to thank the league and the school district for hosting this event. Clay Hinderleiter, have lived in Macomb since 1982. My wife and I bought a business here in 1979. Lived here longer than any place I've lived in my life. 2 children, 5 grandchildren. I'm a retired Army Reserve colonel, and still involved with the business my wife and I created in 1979. I'm the junior partner now and on my way out. So I retired once and hopefully going to retire again here pretty soon. Been on the council now for almost 4 years. Have not missed an election in 35 years. Know a little bit about leadership, had a lot of training in there. Know a little bit about fiscal responsibility in the business world and in the military world. We actually manage dollars there. Find it that the last 2 years under our current mayor, we've probably done more good things in the last 2 years than we have in quite a while. And I'd like to be part and parcel of the team that continues that for a while. Thank you.
The challenger in the 5th Ward is David Dunn.
Hey, I would also like to thank the League of Women Voters and the Student Council for hosting this event. I'm David Dunn. I'm a senior here at Macomb High School. Some of you also may know me as the guy who sells you your tickets at the Bomber basketball games, if you attend those. I decided to run for the city council. The roots of that decision probably go back 2 years ago. I was a question taker here at the last forum for the last city election. And I, of course, as someone interested in government, was fascinated by the discussions here. Some of my classmates, not so much, but I looked at the candidates present and I noticed not a lot of young faces. I looked around at the crowd and I noticed there weren't a lot of young faces. So I thought if I were to run, I could bring something to the discussion and possibly the council that's not presently there.
The incumbent for Alderman at Large is Dennis Moon.
Thanks, Rich. Many of you may already know me. I've served on the Macomb City Council for the last 9 years. I was born, raised, and educated in Macomb, graduating from WIU in 1969. I've been a member of many boards and commissions over the years, MADCO, Macomb Building Commission, Chamber of Commerce, Teen Court, Enterprise Zone Management Board, and CUP. I've been a successful businessman in Macomb for over 40 years. In my younger days, I worked in the family construction business. I was in the bar and restaurant business for 30 years, and now I'm in a partnership with my wife in 2 women's clothing stores. And now I'm asking for your vote for the Alderman at Large seat.
The challenger for at-large alderman is Ed Lavin.
Yes, I would like to thank the league and the student council for putting this on tonight. My name is Ed Lavin. I used to be on the city council for 4 years. Actually, Kay has my seat. I gave that up and ran for mayor two years ago. I was born and raised in Peoria. I have 5 children, 9 grandchildren. Like I said, I served on the council for 4 years, worked at Western for 12, and I've since retired from there. I've been a steam fitter for 45 years. I have a son and daughter down here, a son and granddaughter down here. My son works at Western now, and my granddaughter is a junior and made Dean's List this last time. But I've served on many boards too. I was head of the Civil Service Employees Council. I was on the President's Advisory Board. I was on CUP when I was on the council, and I've served on many other commissions too.
All right, so this is how this will work tonight. I will ask a question, and any of you may respond. Please try to keep your answers to about 1 minute, and we'll try and see that all candidates have equal time for responses. And we'll start off with a question from the audience for all the candidates here. How satisfied are you with the city's website? And any one of you can jump in and answer. Go right ahead.
I guess I'll take this one. I think our website could definitely be better. If you look at it, we actually kind of have two websites. We have one for the Chamber of Commerce and the business in the areas, and we have one for the city, which can be confusing at times. I think if we could do something to sort that out, it would be greatly appreciated among those trying to find out about the city, which, like trying to find our city council minutes, that's another problem. I think we could be more open about that. I think if our website were to utilize social networking, that could also be helpful. So I think there's a wide range of ideas that we could look at to modernize our web presence.
Go ahead, Tim.
Our city website's been an issue for many years. Myself and a few other councilmen have been interested in upgrading our website. Now, we have done a recent redesign with many of the same elements, but we are, in fact, not up with current times. We do not take payments online. Our information is there. The council minutes are there. They're not hard to get to, but we really do need to update our services. It's a fast-paced electronic world, and we need to adapt to it.
Thoughts from anyone else on that question? How satisfied are you with the city's website? Dennis?
Yeah. I'm from a decade that we're not, or some of us my age are not as savvy as we should be, but I would agree we do need some work on our website, and even I could get there if it was available.
Ed?
I agree a little bit with Tim. We talked about this when I was on the council, and slowly it's progressed to where it is now, which is a lot better than what it was a few years ago. But I do agree with Tim, and I think the majority of the council did too, that we need to start looking at being able to pay some of our bills online. This is a technological future, so that's what we're going to have to look for.
Clay, you had your hand up a moment ago. Would you like to chime in?
Yeah. We've been, in my business, been actively involved in the web since about 2000, and I'm here to tell you, it's changed 10 times. So if you want a perfect solution to a website right now, it ain't going to happen. Okay, this is an embryonic thing. We're growing this as we speak. It costs money. It takes time and effort and resources, and we're listening. We're doing the best we can. It's not a perfect world, and we'll eventually get there.
Would either of the Ward 2 candidates like to respond before we move on? Steve?
I agree with Tim and Clay. I agree with Tim because I think that it's very important with the ever-increasing amount of technology we have, and the younger generation who grew up with the internet and increasing technology, now starting to be able to pay their bills, taking part in the city, they're more used to paying bills online. So I think that is one major issue that I think needs to be addressed. As for the site, aesthetics, I think it looks great. They have come a long way with the site. That's where I agree with Clay. It takes a while. It's not going to be, a week or a month. It'll take a little while to get the things we need to be done to make it more user-friendly. but steps have been taken to make sure that happens.
Kay, anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the next question. City revenues have basically been flat the past few years, while expenses have continued to rise. If this trend continues, how would you suggest the city either increase revenues or decrease spending? Tim?
Well, I've had extensive experience in my 12 years with the budget process that the city goes through every year. Our primary solution in the past has been to deal with the employee costs through attrition, through retirements, through not filling vacancies of whatever kind. We've done some budgetary maneuvers. We've moved money from one account to, not from one account to another, but responsibility for payment from one source of funding to another. We've really reached the end of our budgetary tools. We are at a point of some very tough choices, actually laying people off. We no longer have the attrition option available to us. Our economy, if it does not change, is going to require that, and it will probably require it next year.
Ed?
I have a little disagreement with that. Even though we can sit here and say that it's been flat, you have to remember since July of 2010, after the special census went back in, we dropped below 20,000 people. So the money we was getting for the 7 or 8 years on the 2000 census, we're not getting no more. It's less. So with this new census that we're going to take, hopefully we'll get back over the 20,000 and be able to generate the revenue. At one time, we had $3 million in the general fund. We still have well over $2.5 million in there, and I don't, as of right now, I would not be looking to, as far as laying off employees. We're not a sinking ship yet.
Clay?
Yeah. If you want to know what the economy is doing, ask a retailer. I used to do $850,000 a year sales prior to 2008. Last year I did less. I did half of that, less than half of that. Okay. The economy is a big player here, and one of these days it's going to turn around.